you do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter. He can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger.
I can see Tank just outboxing him and making it real easy.
When the topic of Jake Paul-Gervonta Davis comes up, the boxing world ignites with strong opinions, heated takes, and brutal honesty. Jake Paul may have made a name for himself in the crossover boxing scene, but according to multiple boxing pros and insiders, stepping into the ring with a killer like Gervonta Davis would be a disaster waiting to happen.
I mean, size will play some part of the fight, but if I'm thinking like I'm Tank, I'm probably just going to go out there and try to outbox him and use my knowledge and IQ against him. So I can see Tank just outboxing him and making it real easy.
Is there any way any realistic or legitimate way in your mind you could see Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
Not a lot of people have talked about Jake and said he's got good power. Not even.
Let's break down exactly why experts believe Jake Paul cannot survive against the power, skill, and mindset of Gervonta Davis, and why this potential fight would end brutally if it ever came to life. Jake Paul's journey from YouTube fame to boxing recognition is impressive, no doubt. He's worked hard, trained with top coaches, and even managed.
And I get anything could technically happen, but you don't even see a realistic shot where he could land one big punch, and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power.
Nah, not at all. I think Tank is, he's been boxing his whole life. He's been boxing since a kid, so I doubt like that's going to be an issue or problem. I think Jake is good for where he's at, but I think it's just levels.
Do you see a more likely chance that Tank wins by decision or by knockout?
By decision. I mean, that guy's too big. I don't think that he's just going to knock that guy out. So I see him like outboxing him.
Could you see a realistic possibility where Tank could knock him out? Although more likely that it is, like you just said, decision.
Nah, I don't see him.
To secure wins against names like Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, and Nate Diaz. But when you peel back the layers, most of his opponents were either retired MMA fighters or past their athletic prime. Boxing analysts point out that Jake has yet to face a prime naturally skilled and experienced professional boxer. Gervonta Davis isn't just that. He's one of the most explosive punchers of this generation. Jake's doing good things for himself, but Gervonta is another animal. You can't learn what Tank does in 3 or 4 years.
And Jake, and I'm looking at him, Tank can reach him too. He reached Ryan Garcia. He reached Mario Barrios. I was like, he ain't gonna be able to reach him. He's gonna reach myself.
He's been fighting since he was a kid. That's a lifetime of instincts. Gervonta Davis isn't just a knockout artist. He's a calculated destroyer. Trained under Floyd Mayweather's guidance, Tank learned how to mix patience with power. His timing, defense, and ring IQ are elite level, which is what separates true champions from showmen. What makes Davis a...
Today I gave this little guy an opportunity. He should be thanking me. I'm paying him. I'm his boss. He reports to me, and I'm gonna fucking son him on November 14th. So fuck you, little man.
You pay me? Are you paying me?
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Facts?
Correct.
Yes? Correct?
Correct. I'm your daddy.
Especially dangerous is his ability to read opponents, wait for mistakes, and then explode with frightening precision. Just ask Leo Santa Cruz, Rolando Romero, or Ryan Garcia, all of whom were knocked out by Tank's picture-perfect counters. Davis doesn't swing wild. He calculates. The moment you OP in up, he makes you pay.
Yeah, the face of boxing now is based on if you sell and if people tune in and how many eyes are tuning in when you fight. Gervonta Davis had that. Jake Paul has that. Now they're fighting each other.
Jake Paul's style is too robotic and stiff for someone like that. Jake Paul's fans often argue that his power gives him a chance against anyone. True, Jake has solid right-hand power, especially against fighters with MMA striking backgrounds. But power means little when it doesn't land. And against Davis, landing clean shots would be nearly impossible. Tank Davis has fought and beaten fighters with heavier natural frames than himself.
Carlson White is 100% right about that.
Don't believe anything you hear. Don't believe anything you see. Wait to see how things play out, and ultimately everything will come out in the wash. Well, going into this fight with Gervonta Davis, I had my concerns about the fight because of he's the same type of reasoning that Charleston White used, except for mine is slightly different. I don't think that either one of these guys are going to try to do too much damage to each other. Number one,
Despite being shorter, his explosive speed and compact power make him extremely dangerous. His knockouts come from perfect technique, not wild swings. Jake Paul punches hard, but he telegraphs everything. Tank would see that coming from a mile away. When you're facing someone with Tank's timing, your power doesn't matter if you can't touch him. When comparing Jake Paul's fundamentals to Davis's,
likely to an extent it will be. Gervonta Davis is not going to put himself in a situation where Jake Paul is going to actually be able to hurt him. And with these 12-ounce gloves on top of Gervonta Davis,
the difference is night and day. Davis moves like a predator, calm, fluid, always in position to strike. Jake, on the other hand, often looks flat-footed and predictable. Footwork in boxing isn't just about movement, it's about positioning. Tank knows exactly how to step in, pivot, and trap his opponent. Jake, being bigger and slower, would struggle to cut off the ring or defend against Tank's angles.
No, I didn't like it, to be honest, for the optics and everything else I just said. But you do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter, he can punch. And he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't.
Jake's got decent basics, but he's not dynamic. Tank's timing would make him look stuck in slow motion. This isn't YouTube boxing anymore. This is real, world-class skill. One of Jake Paul's biggest advantages so far has been his psychological warfare. He's an expert at hyping fights, getting under his opponent's skin, and controlling the narrative. But against Gervonta Davis,
we want to know, who will win in this fight? Jake Paul or Tank Davis? It's a legit question. And I actually want to really hear your thoughts on who do you think is going to win. Because I know what Vegas is saying, but I want to know what you think. You got
Personally, I think Tank too little, bro.
Yo,
I think Tank too little.
I'm so glad you have a brain on your fucking shoulder.
I think Tank too little.
I said, bro.
I think Tank's too little. That's what I'm saying. That weight class is for a reason.
Davis
that weight class is for a reason.
5'5", 135 pounds. Jake Paul is 6 feet, 205 pounds.
That's what I'm saying. He's
6'1", 205. Everybody's like, yeah, bro, but Tank it only takes one good punch. Yes, it takes one good punch when you're about the same size. There's a 60, 70 pound difference in weight in these people. I don't think nobody puts the physics in mind. Jake Paul gets punched in the face by...
that mental edge disappears completely. Tank has been in massive arenas, under the brightest lights, with millions watching. He's been through wars, comebacks, and high-pressure moments. The spotlight doesn't shake him. It fuels him. Jake loves tea. He noise, but Tank lives.
Dudes 200 pounds with all their might on a weekly basis. 135-pound puncher, bro. If y'all remember the Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight, Conor walks around like 180 on the regular. He's like 5'9", 180. Mayweather's like 5'7", 145. That 30-pound, 20, 30-pound difference, bro, if you remember that fight, Mayweather was putting mittens on Conor. Guess what happened to Conor? He didn't hit the ground once. No. He lasted all 12 rounds getting hit with flurries. I'm talking about Mayweather was having his time. He's being cocky with it, hitting with all kind of combos. And we're watching the last 3 rounds of that shit like, yo, knock him out. And you know what? He could not knock him out because Conor gets punched by people that are 170, 180 pounds on a regular. And just that 20, 30-pound difference, it was like...
in it. When the bell rings, Jake's in Tank's world, and that's a dangerous place to be. Jake Paul is bigger and stronger physically, weighing around 190 pounds, while Tank Fig, boxing pros and insiders, stepping into the ring with a killer like Gervonta Davis would be a disaster waiting to happen. Let's break down exactly why experts believe
Mate, calm down. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of him, but he's bringing a lot of eyes to boxing. A lot of eyes to boxing. He's doing great for boxing. I don't care what everyone thinks. The weight difference is mad though. Lightweight to God knows cruiserweight or whatever the hell he is. Or Gervonta might get thumped up, you know. Hey, if he gets bashed up, I can never go on TikTok Live again.
Jake Paul cannot survive against the power, skill, and mindset of Gervonta Davis, and why this potential fight would end brutally if it ever came to life. Jake Paul's journey from YouTube fame to boxing recognition is impressive, no doubt. He's worked hard, trained with top coaches,
every title level fighter, and that's a good level. Like, you can be proud of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good. But the Mike Tyson fight, I didn't like. The Chavez fight was just farcical because he's 10-11 years past his best, up 6 weight divisions. But less of a problem because Chavez wasn't in his 50s. Fighting the MMA guys again. He's fighting people that don't do the same. That they're not even in the same sport. But
and even managed to secure wins against names like Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, and Nate Diaz. But when you peel back the layers, most of his opponents were either retired MMA fighters or past their athletic prime. Boxing analysts point out that Jake has yet to face a prime naturally skilled and experienced professional boxer. Gervonta Davis isn't just that. He's one of the most explosive punchers of this generation. Jake's doing good things for himself, but Gervonta is another animal. You can't learn what Tank does in 3 or 4 years. He's been fighting since he was a kid. That's a lifetime of instincts.